Professor Villa. My name is Maddie Elliston, and when I first started this class, I wasn't fully aware of what I would be learning or what I'm getting myself into. I was thinking, how are we going to be learning two such distinct topics such as ethnicity and gender? It didn't fully click until around week 3 when we learned the terms such as intersectionality. But what does that mean exactly? According to the Center for Intersectional Justice, the concept of intersectionality describes the ways in which systems of inequality are based on gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, disability, class, and other forms of discrimination intersect to create unique dynamics and effects. Today, I will be discussing some examples of intersectionality and how it affects different sections of minorities throughout the United States. For example, of race, ethnic background, sexuality, gender, and other forms of identity. Women of color who aren't cisgendered or heterosexual find a lot of discrimination from multiple groups at the same time for either being homophobic, racist, or even sexist for holding up patriarchal beliefs. Or sometimes they even get discriminated against in their own ethnic groups for, say, Latina lesbians. In Carla Trujillo's essay of Chicana Lesbian, Fear and Loathing in the Chicano Community, she discusses how in Chicano culture, women are usually taught to suppress their topics of sexuality. They're told that they need to be good mothers and that they need to reproduce, and that sex is not meant to be enjoyable in any shape or form, and it's supposed to back their man and the men in their family. And in this way, Chicano lesbians go completely against that, and in that way they feel alienated even in their own community that they were raised around their entire lives. We could take it one step back a bit by looking at Davis's article, Racism in the Women's Suffrage Movement, where there was a specific topic during first wave feminism where white women felt like black folks were gaining more rights than white women, and they had hatred towards them for that. So it put black women in this very specific corner where they didn't feel fully heard by black men when they started gaining the right to vote, and they felt off-putted by white women for their racism and didn't feel fully heard by them either. So it kind of like left them in their own little cornerstone where they could only feel comfortable around each other. Even in Paula Alonso's article, Autonomy Revoked, the forced sterilization of women of color in America, it discusses how women of color are disproportionately sterilized or talked into sterilization by medical practitioners or doctors who have this belief of eugenics, stating that white race is better than those who are seen as below than, which are people of color. Topic that wasn't fully fledged out in our course that I would like to talk a little bit about more in my presentation is the topic of transgender and gender nonconforming folks of color in female spaces, such as feminism. In a Duke Press article written by Serena Bossi and Greta LaFleur, they talk about trans-exclusionary feminists, also known as TERFs for short, and how they like to put womanhood in this very small box that only really those who are assigned female at birth can really ascribe to, and those who don't fit in that box can feel totally alienated. They really just follow patriarchal viewpoints that not just men but also women uphold as well, and they just follow some forms of first wave feminism that I feel like we have really progressed throughout society from. Women of color who have any form of intersectioning identity usually get discriminated against, if not tenfold, based on the way that Western society treats minorities. One way that we can try and alleviate this is by allowing their voices to be heard more in media, to allow these unique experiences to be shared more with people so that they don't seem to be wrong or seem as a problem that needs to be fixed in society.